Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And 2 days in a row, who'd have thought it? We're doing a Celtic transfer talk video again. The support on yesterday's was fantastic, and I thought, why not chinwag about rumours that probably won't come true one more time before our big tie tomorrow night. I said, why did I elongate my tie there? I don't know what the fuck was going on. Anyway, could Celtic be solving their right back issue? It's one that we need to address. Tony Ralston has been good recently, but we need depth in that area. Could Celtic have the answer for that very, very soon? Before we go any further with the video, make sure to check out the top line of the description. You can download the OneFootball app via my link, which will give you everything you need to know in terms of Celtic news, Celtic fixtures, Celtic results and live scores ahead of tomorrow's game against the Ablonettes and every other game this season. It really is the best app in football if you want to keep up to date with not just the Scottish Premiership, but the rest of Europe as well and the world. It's got everything all in one place, so use my link, you help out me and the channel sponsors. And also make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're nearly at 29k. Let's roll on to 30k. It would be great if we could get that by the end of the month. So Celtic were obviously in pursuit of Aurelio Buta, Royal Antwerp right back, for a number of weeks. It's actually been spoke about for a while now. Kind of slowed down. We're wondering what's happening, and now it looks as though Celtic aren't willing to meet the valuation of Antwerp's player. Aurelio Buta doesn't look as though he will be coming to Celtic. Now, I am a bit disappointed in that. I thought Buta looked like a great player. I thought he had all the attributes we needed in an Ange Postecoglou fullback. But at the end of the day, if the money is too much and we can get other, if not just as good options for a cheaper price, then that was always going to be what Celtic do. I don't know the exact fee and what Royal Antwerp were looking for Buta, but obviously the Celtic board have deemed it too much to spend. Is that a surprise? No, it's not, but it could be for the right reasons, because Celtic now are looking at potential other options, which we'll come on to in a moment. Buta also looks as though he might be going for a move to the Premier League. I think Everton are in a position where they could land him. Rafa Benitez wants to take him to Goodison Park, and you wouldn't be surprised to see Buta choose that move to work with Rafa Benitez down in a good Premier League side rather than Celtic. That's of course the holy grail now for footballers, to play in the Premier League. So it doesn't surprise me if that's the case. But Celtic do need to act fast with this transfer window coming close to an end, in an area that we can't rely on Anthony Ralston for all season. Now, Ralston over the past few games, I will give him all the credit he deserves. He's been wonderful. He's been really good. The last 3-4 games, he's been doing the role perfectly, I think. Not just as a right back, but as I said before, an Ange Postecoglou right back. He's scored 2 world-class goals. And overall, he's just put in a massive shift, an improvement from the player that we all were slagging weeks ago. Does that mean he's good enough to be Celtic's right back for the rest of the season? Absolutely not. I'm very happy to see him play for the jersey, and he wants that spot. Keep doing it, keep working hard and take every opportunity you can get, is what I would say. But it doesn't mean that we should become naive as supporters to suggest that means we're sorted. Even if Ralston became first choice right back, we still need other options. We still need a second, maybe even third right back, because you're now an Anthony Ralston injury away from having to play someone that right hand side. Remember when Christopher Ayer was playing there at one point last year or 2 years ago? We can't be in that situation. We need to be playing a right back at right back. So we need to bring one in nonetheless. Whether or not you want Ralston to be the starter or not, we need another right back. And Celtic look as though they could be one step closer, it's been labelled, to getting one. It was reported this morning by, I believe, Croatian journalists that Josip Juranovic, I believe that's how it's pronounced, is one step away from joining Celtic from Legia Warsaw. The man wants a move. He wants a move now, and Celtic seems to be his preferred destination. He's a Croatian international. He actually went to the Euros with Croatia, and I don't want to be guilty of saying this with every player that we're linked to on Celtic Transfer Talk, but one that really does interest me and has got me excited. The advantage comes from the fact that Legia Warsaw were knocked out of the Champions League last night by Dynamo Zagreb, I believe. It means they need to sell some players to make up some cash. And Juranovic is one of those guys who could be on that list. He is pushing to become Croatia's first choice right back ahead of Qatar 2022, but he's someone who could come to Celtic. He's not going to get that Champions League football, but really will put himself in a position where he can compete for that spot. You can look at players around the league and players, of course, who have moved on from the league. who have now become first choice internationals for their countries, and he'll be looking to do the same. I mean, Mikael Lustig, look no further, right back international for Celtic for the best part of a decade. Obviously it's Sweden rather than Croatia, but Celtic could be a really good move for his development, and his style of football, what the highlights and the clips and such that I have seen of Legia Warsaw's version of Josip Juranovic is exactly what Ange Postecoglou will want at Celtic. It looks to be a perfect fit. At 25 years old, and for a fee as potentially as little as £2.5 million, this seems like the perfect move for Celtic. It certainly is a difference from the Aurelio Buta, a fee which Celtic didn't want to match, they didn't want to pay. £2.5 million seems pretty comfortable for an already established fullback. You're not paying for, I think, well, every player comes with a risk. Let's not hide away from that, because Shane Duffy should have been the finished article. He came in and he was one of the worst players we've ever seen at Celtic. The same with John Joe Kenny, the same with Diego Laxalt. Age, every player comes with a risk. It doesn't really matter the age, but for £2.5 million for an established international playing at a good level with Legia Warsaw too is a kind of risk-free move, I think, in the eyes of the board. It's not a huge fee, whereas Buta, I think they were asking for maybe upwards of £4 or £5 million. That does carry more of a risk for Celtic, because we don't tend to spend that much on players. £2.5 million is more in the region of a Celtic player. For that, I think Celtic need to move for it. 25 years old, £2.5 million. It all adds up. The attacking prowess he brings to the side, the crossing ability, the speed and the movement. It's all these factors to what we already know Ange Postecoglou wants. Now, Tony Ralston has managed to nail it in the last 2 or 3 games with the, I think, very limited skill set of being an inverted fullback. Now, imagine a fullback who is meant to do that, who's trained to be like that and has done that for the last few years of his career. It really could be a dangerous combination for any side we face. Juranovic made 26 appearances in the Polish First Division last season, 1 goal and 8 assists. 8 assists, a fantastic return for a right back, and he's also quite versatile as well. I was looking at the kind of map of positions he's filtered in at points. He's been on the left, he's been on the right, he's played through the middle, both in defence and midfield. I doubt he's going to do that when coming to Celtic, but I think by playing those other positions really shows the versatility of a fullback who's wanting to play like a modern fullback. You look at Pep Guardiola. I'm not comparing Ange Postecoglou to Pep Guardiola before anybody gets carried away, but Pep likes to have these fullbacks at his side, and it was very evident when he went to Bayern Munich with this, that he wants these fullbacks that are, yes, fullbacks, but they can push into the middle of the park and they can play with the ball. They can get very narrow and very high up the pitch. That's how players like David Alaba and Joshua Kimmich, who were originally left backs and right backs, ended up becoming central midfielders, because they were doing that so much from those fullback positions. So the map here of showing positions he's played in makes perfect sense for Juranovic and the style of football Ange Postecoglou wants in his fullbacks. Celtic should push for this to get it done as soon as possible. I think once we are past Jablonec tomorrow, well, hopefully past, fingers crossed, touch wood, don't want to jinx anything. Once we're past them tomorrow, I really do think we need to now make big strides to get deals done in the market, because we're going to go through to a tough next round in Europa League qualification. It's not going to be easy, and we need these defenders in. Yes, we kept a clean sheet at the weekend. That was pleasing to see. But what happened last week against Jablonec? We conceded 2 cheap goals, and that was because of poor issues in defending. We need natural defenders in, and that includes right back, left back, centre back. This is the first step of that. I'm not too sure what the quarantining rules are between Scotland and Poland, and if he was to come from Legia Warsaw right now, but he's already played 8 games this season, getting 2 assists in those 8 games as well. He's ready to come right into the first team. He's ready to play for Celtic. Now, yes, it could be halted a little bit through having to quarantine, but look at Kyogo, look at Abada, look at all these guys at Starfield and such that have came in so far. They've came in and they've done what they've had to do, and they've done it well. And he can join that because he's played football. It's not like he's an alien, you know what I mean? He's got to come in, he's got to be able to play. So Celtic, with this, he wants to go. And I think he favours this move to Celtic. Celtic need to act on that, and they should be acting on it as of this minute. They should be seeing that price tag, they should be seeing that availability and going, yeah, we'll take him. And that is one position less to worry about heading into the last few weeks of the transfer window and heading into what is now a busy few weeks for Celtic. We get past Jablonec tomorrow night. We've got Hearts in the Cup at the weekend, which we need to get through. We're back to league action, and it's only a matter of time before we're playing Rangers in the league. We need our best possible team ahead of playing Rangers. Despite their run of 3 games losing, we need to have our best team available, and that goes through making signings. So get it done, Celtic. Get him in the door. I'm a big advocate for this signing of Josip Juranovic. Like and subscribe. See you all next time.